Hello. So student loan payments are starting back up, um, and we're all trying to pay them. So I decided to do a study and ask all my friends questions that pertain to their majors to see if college is worth it or not. Um, so the first people I asked are my few of my friends from the University of Vermont, which is where I went to school. It's a university. It's in Vermont. So first up, these are my roommates. On the left is Brendan, and Will is in the middle, and they're not my roommates anymore. And they both had business majors, which is specifically marketing. So I texted them, and I asked them if they think that if Jeff Bezos went bald, he would be, or if Jeff Bezos grew hair, he would be richer, or if being bald is the superpower. And only Brendan responded, but this is our group chat. So to give them the benefit of the doubt, I assumed that they collaborated on this response. Maybe they didn't, but who knows? So I give them a C. I just kind of graded everyone, uh, you know, normal exclusive letter grading style. So yeah, they get a C. I dropped them down because they both didn't have original answers, so maybe that would be cheating. But maybe it's not cheating. I thought that there wasn't any elaboration. So um, next up, on the left is Reset, and on the right is the rapper 2 Chainz. And Reset majored also in business with marketing. 2 Chainz isn't my friend, but 2 Chainz, if you do want to be my friend, hit me up. We can be friends. You seem pretty cool. So I asked Reset, because she's also a marketer, what's the best commercial ever in the world? And it took her a few hours to respond. And first she asked me the question again, and then she was very not specific. So I give that a B minus, because there was some thought put into it, and a real answer and deliberation. But what deodorant commercial? Next up is Emily. She's a teacher. She teaches like little kids. So she like teaches kids how to read and stuff. So I thought I would ask her if she can teach her kids how to read, and she said no. So I give that an F minus because I don't think that college is worth it. So next up is the rest of my friends. First was Dominic. I actually couldn't find a picture of Dominic. So this is what I asked him. I asked him if the sun ever set on the British Empire, or did they fell off. That guy got cut off. And he wasn't sure. He actually said they still got the British. You can read it. It's all right there. Let's see. Put myself there so you can read it. And I actually, to give him credit, I chump checked him, and because he was like, I'm not really sure. And I said, I thought you had a degree, and he came back and he answered, and I assume he's right. I also don't really know what Dominic majored in, but he's in the military, so that's fine, I think. So I give Dominic an A minus for that because it took him a minute to figure it out, but he got it. Next up is Kenny. He is an engineer. A lot of my friends are. We'll put myself back down here. I'll probably have to move myself a lot. I don't really know what any of my engineer friends actually do. I'm not really sure what an engineer is. So I asked him what's the biggest car engine ever in the world, and then he asked if I wanted a picture of it, and he sent me this, and I don't really get it. So I gave him a D plus because I was a little bit scared of giving him less than that, but I think that's good. Next up is Ben. He's a traffic engineer, so I know a little bit more what he does. Ben's on the right, and that's also his dad. And I was actually expecting probably the worst response out of Ben because he kind of sucks. But he gave actually a really thoughtful answer. He sent me this diagram that even when you open it and it's big, you can't read it. So I was a little annoyed at that. Oh, I asked him, why does traffic go slow when I want it to go fast? Why can't the man in front just go? And he actually, he sent a diagram that at first I couldn't read, so I was going to give him a really bad grade. But then he explained it a lot, which I was surprised about. So I give him an A+. Actually, I think Ben did the best. So if you want to be a traffic engineer and want to actually know a lot of things, go to the University of Maryland. I guess I should have put where everyone went, but... next up is Max. I couldn't find any pictures of Max that weren't like 8 years old. Well, I guess I could. but I picked this one. He's also an engineer, and I asked him, how tall is the Golden Gate Bridge? And he said 200 feet, I don't know. And I really respect that he didn't know, but he still took a stab at it, and also admitted to not knowing things, because I think part of wisdom is admitting when you don't know things. So I gave him a C+, because I don't actually know if that's right or not. Next up is Matt. He's on the left side, and he was also an engineer. A lot of my friends are engineers, I think. And I asked him, how much coal does it take for a steam engine to go a mile? And he said 3, and I think that's right, so I gave him an A+. Next up is Luke, and I put his major as space, and he's in like grad school now. But I think his major is physics and astronomy. So yeah, pretty much space, because he talks about the James Webb Space Telescope all the time. And for some background, I actually had to beg him to even give me a response, which is anticipated. And I just asked him if there was aliens, and he said maybe. And there was no elaboration or anything, so I gave that an F, because yeah. Next up is Kyle. The cool thing about Kyle is he's like 14 years old, and he's also an engineer. And this one's a two-parter. We'll go through the list. I asked him what the biggest car engine ever in the world is, because Kenny couldn't give me an answer, and he said, I don't know. And I said, wow, a little disappointed. And then he looked it up, which is cool, because I think research is something that should probably be taught in school. So he sent me it, and I asked him how big it was. And he did more research, and then was enthusiastic about it. And yeah, so I really appreciated that. And I think that's everyone I went through. I have one saved for the end. And I think like the grades were all over the place. So is college worth it? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so Danny. Danny also majored in space, and he's also at grad school. Danny's on the right. I don't know who that is on the left. It's one of his friends, I think. Yeah, it's kind of an old picture. But yeah, so Danny also, I think, like physics and astronomy. And you see, I asked Danny, and me and Danny have been friends for a really long time, so I thought he'd answer me, and he didn't. You can see, and I didn't want to show the whole message here because it's kind of fucked up. But there's a response to that in the description. I'll like put a little link to it. Yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching.